Missouri Valley has just 1 month left in its classes, and students are getting set to finish research projects and take part in campus life as outdoor activities open. Welcome to KMVC News, I'm Marina Diaz. For the second time this semester, there are no active COVID-19 cases on campus at the time of the broadcast. Valley's last active case was 2 weeks ago. This is the longest stretch without an active case since Missouri Valley started tracking the entire campus population in August. MVC didn't have any cases at the time of KMVC's last broadcast in early February. The last day of classes is April 23rd. Graduation is May 1st. The month of March celebrates Women's History. KMVC's Shay Wilson reports on how women's history has made and is making future women in leadership at Missouri Valley College.
Many programs at Missouri Valley College, athletic or academic, have women in leadership. Women's history has shaped them into who they are, as they are now a part of creating future women in leadership.
Women's history means to me is there has been a lot that we have gone through, and what I really think in the overall aspect of it is it's trying to push us and teach us that we are so empowering inside of ourselves. There's no limitation to what we can do. So what I would like to do is inspire not only just my female athletes, but all my athletes, that there's more in us that's just trying to come out. So whether it's pushing them in their cheerleading career or even in their personal development in life.
Future leaders, like Aaliyah Pierce, think women's history can go even further.
Women's history has shown how far we've came as a nation. And it can show us how much further we could go.
Missouri Valley College President Bonnie Humphrey says, "As I progressed into administration 31 years ago, I knew that as a leader I would be accountable for my demeanor and my actions on an even bigger stage. As a leader, you must always remember that your demeanor and your actions set the tone for confidence and success or uncertainty and failure." Shay Wilson, KMVC News.
Into this one. National Women's Day was March 8th. The 2021 IWD celebration highlighted women's contributions in fighting the COVID-19 pandemic. Some of the precautions to stop the spread of COVID-19 may have a positive side effect, as flu cases throughout the region are a fraction of their averages. KMVC's Cooper Bryant reports the effect of cold and flu season on Missouri Valley's campus during COVID-19.
With the COVID-19 pandemic still alive and at the front of everyone's mind, it's easy to miss other sicknesses spreading through the local community. As cold and flu seasons wrap up in Missouri, it appears that local distancing guidelines, mask mandates, and extra emphasis on general hygiene has affected the seasonal cold and flu season as well. MVC student Darren Thompson says that the thought of the cold and flu season really escaped his mind during the global pandemic.
Honestly, I kind of forgot about cold and flu season, just with the pandemic going on and everybody being so concerned about COVID. I feel like everybody just, when they get sick now, they kind of just assume they have COVID and they just rush to go get tested when it could just be an average cold.
Thompson says he hasn't had any sicknesses at all this year, and he attributes it to the diligence in preventing himself from contracting COVID-19.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense for the cold and flu numbers to be down, especially on campus. A lot of people have been doing a good job with wearing their masks and social distancing. And they've been doing a good job with sanitizing day-to-day services like high touch points and everything. So I'm honestly not surprised that I haven't been sick this year now that I look back on it.
For more information on the Saline County influence of vaccination locations, visit them online at SalineCountyHealthDepartment.com. Cooper Bryant, KMVC News.
Students who feel ill must schedule an appointment with the nurse's office in the Malcolm Center. COVID protocol prevents walk-ins. Missouri is reporting just one influenza-related death for this flu season, and no outbreaks or school closures due to the flu. Missouri reported 13 outbreaks and 7 school closures at this point 1 year ago. COVID-19 made working in large groups of people implausible. KMVC's Shay Wilson reports on the implausible work that many Missouri Valley students have to put in to feature in the research symposium.
The challenge for students involved with the research symposium is having to give even more effort than in the past due to COVID protocol. Normally helping the symposium, Kendall Smith is now a part of the symposium.
COVID you won't be able to have as many people in a close, confined space like you used to be able to. We'll have a mask on, so like you might feel a little bit more contained when speaking because you have something on your face the entire time.
The symposium, once held in the bottom floor of the Malcolm Center, has now spread out further into the upper floor. Smith also says that surveying has been harder due to COVID because they must be shared via email, making it harder for researchers to collect data when their fellow classmates don't respond. Shay Wilson, KMVC News.
The Student Research Symposium is April 26th, which is the Monday of finals week. The latest Missouri Valley Spectator policy relies on the low COVID numbers and the return of outdoor events. So students are now able to attend home sporting events. KMVC's Adam Balkin reports.
The Missouri Valley Spectator policy has changed 4 times since August 31st, 2020. In the beginning of fall 2020, Missouri Valley College sent out the first Spectator policy stating the decision has been made that all on-campus sporting events will be closed to the public. The only spectators allowed will be MVC students, faculty, and staff with a Missouri Valley ID. On October the 15th, 2020, Missouri Valley College Athletic Director Tom Pfeiffer announced an update to the college spectator policy. The policy stated, the college will use hometown ticketing for all spectators to gain admittance to the home games. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, there will be a limited number of tickets available. Just under a month, the policy updated again. On November 12, 2020, an email was sent out to the students stating attendance at home athletic games will be limited to 2 family members of MVC game day participants. All other spectators, including MVC faculty, staff, and students, will be prohibited from attending. On February 26, 2021, the spectator policy changed again, hopefully for the last time. The new policy allows home participant parents, MVC staff, and faculty, as well as MVC students to attend outdoor home athletic events. Registrar Assistant Kaylee Barnes says if Missouri Valley continues to follow the rules, they'll be just fine.
Me personally, I think as long as everyone again follows the social distancing that's required and wearing the masks, I think it's no different risk than being in a dorm room.
MVC student Reed Simon says as long as everyone is following the mask rules, there's no need for the policy.
It was you can have as many people come, like if you're a student or not a student, or a family member or not. It's just you guys have the college has to do a good job of making sure everybody's following the guidelines, like keep the mask up.
Adam Balkin, KMVC News.
I don't need to move or anything, I'm good.
All spectators are required to wear a mask and social distance while attending all Missouri Valley College home athletic events. Cooper Bryant is here with the sports.
Thank you, Marina. It's been another busy week for Missouri Valley sports. Many athletes strive for certain goals during their season. However, some go above and beyond. KMVC's Erica Moreno reports on Cameron Cavalier breaking a record.
Being an All-American is most athletes' dream. However, for Cameron Cavalier, it is more than that. Cavalier sacrificed his time, body, and energy into his track time, and it showed on the track. Cavalier was aware that coming into this school year, he wanted to break the record for the 60-meter dash, and he broke a record that was set 15 years ago with 6.82 seconds.
Honestly, it didn't even hit me yet. I really think I'm the same dude from last year, the same kid that I've always been. It really didn't even hit me that I hit a school record.
Cavalier has many goals. Some of his goals include breaking records this year and his coming year, since he is barely a sophomore.
I told my coaches next year I'm going to break my record. So 6.82, I'm trying to break that. Next year, I'm trying to break the 200 record for the indoor.
Cavalier's family was very ecstatic about him breaking the record. However, they couldn't be there due to COVID protocols. Erica Moreno, KMVC News.
Cavalier is hoping to break the 100 outdoor record this outdoor season for track. The 2021 Missouri Valley men's volleyball season is a memorable one for the season, for how the season began under the umbrella of COVID. but also for what's possible when it does finish.
Just going to do that for a while.
Missouri Valley College men's volleyball is on track to complete their best season in program history. Led by Coach Omar Sanchez in just his third year as head coach, he says it's really incredible to see the growth the team has made in his 3 years at Valley.
I think for us, the fact that we're making strides in the third year of, kind of my tenure at this school, and with a lot of these guys that really, again, haven't been playing for too long together outside of, maybe 3 or 4 of them. I think we're just, kind of really happy and just kind of just riding, the magical season that we're having.
Sanchez says that the leadership of the team's 2 stars, Joao Vitor Bonanoni and Simone Jolly, have set a precedent for the team's work ethic and determination to get a little bit better each day.
I think the first thing is that they're both, just stand-up kids. They have great attitudes. They have a great way of, how they approach each day. Volleyball's kind of easy. You just kind of point them in the right direction.
Sanchez also says that a major part to the success of the team isn't just their ability and effort on the court, but also their chemistry and camaraderie off of the court as well.
Like I said, the guys are just really, like you said, getting along, gelling. They do a good job of hanging out outside of volleyball, which is something that as a coach you really can't force, but you love to see it.
As the team looks to wrap up their regular season, they have their sights set on playing in the last game of the season on April 24th. But first, the Vikings have a conference playoff game next week. Cooper Bryant, KMVC News. Missouri Valley men's volleyball captured a win in their last regular season game last night in 4 sets, winning the first, third, and fourth by scores of 25-16, 17-25, 25-15, and 25-20. With the win, the Vikings locked in their place in the Heart of America Conference Tournament. The Vikings will host the semifinal round of this year's men's volleyball tournament on March 31st in the Burns Athletic Center. The men's lacrosse team came into this week's contest against Missouri Baptist looking to right the ship after a 3-game losing streak. The Vikings first blood as Cole Eichelhoff scored off an Aaron Longley assist in the first possession of the first Viking possession of the game. The Vikings ended the first quarter tied 3-3, but headed into halftime down by 5 to the Spartans. And the Vikings' woes wouldn't stop there, as Missouri Baptist let off 4 straight goals coming out of the break to pull even further away from the Vikings. Moval's Tyler Yetka netted himself a fourth-quarter hat trick, but it wasn't going to be enough, as the Spartans were just too far out of reach. Missouri Valley falls to Missouri Baptist 18-11. The Vikings drop to 0-4 in the KCAC and take on the Spires of St. Mary on March 23rd. The Valley women's lacrosse team led off the doubleheader on Saturday, looking to bounce back after a tough loss to the Ottawa Braves on March 4th.
And there's Sierra Ashley with it now.
It was led in scoring by Katie Montini, who tallied 3 goals and 3 assists on the night, but the Spartans' Jordan Heuser led all scorers in the contest with 11 points on 7 goals and 4 assists. Valley's Kaylee Hodgson was 13 for 25 in draw controls against the Spartans. Marina Diaz helped gather up 3 ground balls and led the defense with 4 forced turnovers in the contest to earn extra possessions for the Vikings. But it would not be enough, as the Spartans would outshoot the Vikings 27-17 and take the win. Missouri Valley falls to 0-3 in the KCAC and tries to bounce back on the 23rd as the Vikings take on St. Mary on Greg Mitchell Field. Spring has sprung a leak in mid-Missouri. Last week's rain forced scheduled changes for the Missouri Valley baseball and softball teams. Days of hard rain and heavy cloud coverage led to some flooding in areas of Indian Foothills Park, where the 2 teams play. As a result, the game would either move or rescheduled. The baseball team's home series against Benedictine was moved to Atchison, Kansas, and the softball team's games against Park and CMU have changed dates. All of the schedule changes and updates are on valleywillroll.com. And that's sports for this week.
Missouri Valley College Student Affairs Department held a hypnotist show about intoxication on March 18th. The show is called Hypnotic Intoxication, hosted by Keith Kurt. Kurt is a self-taught hypnotist and has been practicing since his freshman year of college. Kurt travels across the country to spread a positive message about alcohol awareness.
My big thing is if someone passes out, they are this close to seriousness. And it's that close to getting your friend help that would maybe save their life. And that's all it is. In most cases, when you look at college-related drinking deaths, where college students might have died because of alcohol, in most cases, a responsible friend, a roommate, a sorority sister, a fraternity brother, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, help that person home, only to put them to bed to be comfortable, only to find them hours later cold and dead.
Sarah Spears was one of the many students who participated in being hypnotized by Kurt.
Honestly, I've never done that before, and it's actually been like a dream of mine. So it kind of just felt like you were in a trance and you had really no control of your emotions.
Spears said that this has been an eye-opening and unique experience. Brianna Prescott previously went to Kurt's show 2 years ago and said that she was happy to be able to participate this time.
It kind of puts it in perspective because like I saw the videos and stuff that people posted, and like it does happen at parties and it does happen when you're drinking, but you're not able to reciprocate that when you're sober and when you're mentally aware of what's going on. Whereas like when you're hypnotized, you literally had no control of your body.
Both Spears and Prescott hope that the message to be a responsible friend while out partying stuck with the audience. This is the third time that Valley has hosted the show. The show that was planned for last year was canceled due to COVID-19. A sleepless night and the need for the show to go on inspired the original Missouri Valley Theater production called A Pandemic Night's Dream. The play is about a company of actors that need to adapt to the COVID-19 pandemic as it rehearses for the production of Pyramus and Thisbe. The production combines pre-recorded Zoom rehearsals with live theater as well as improvised comedic bits that made the show different every night. It included a few bloopers and theater alumni and guest performances. The play ran from the 18th through the 20th and is available on demand through the Viking Sports Network through ValleyWillRoll.com. That's KMVC News for this week. Our next show is April 6th. Thanks for watching. I'm Marina Diaz.